it was alcohol that was the problem. Alcohol was the common denominator in every single bad thing that happened in my life. And it took me so long to really make that connection. Welcome back to my channel, Summer Stop Drinking. In today's video, I wanted to talk to you about my sober story and a little bit about what my drinking used to look like, how I got sober, and what life looks like now that I am sober. So one of the first things I wanted to address is, who am I? Why am I doing this channel? Why did I stop drinking? What gives me the authority to be talking on this subject matter? Really, my authority comes from my personal experience. I am a woman in recovery who abused alcohol for 20 years and is living a free life now that I don't drink anymore. So the first time I ever got drunk, I was 17 years old, and that really set the tone for what drinking looked like for me for the next 20 years. I got incredibly drunk. It was close to blackout. I don't remember all of it. It was a really scary situation from what I've heard after the fact. And that's how I drank through my late teens and into my 20s. When I went away to college, I went to college 2,000 miles away from home, and I partied a lot. I went to a lot of parties, got really involved in the college drinking culture at the time. My drinking put me in dangerous situations all the time where I wasn't safe, where I wasn't in control of myself, where I didn't know what was going on. So I was never really a daily drinker. I mean, there have been times in my life where I was drinking more often than others, but my issue was binge drinking and a complete lack of the ability to moderate once I started. I don't know what it was. I think because I was in my 20s, because I was in college, and even once I was not in college anymore and I moved on, because of my age, it felt like it was okay. It felt like it was okay because of my age, because of the environment that I found myself in, and it just seemed like a part of what everyone around me was doing, so I don't know. I just thought it was okay. I didn't think it was much of a problem. I did know that I drank too much at times, and I did know that once I drank, I couldn't stop, and I did know that I had no control over how the situation would unfold once I drank. I knew that sometimes things would be okay, but the vast majority of the time, I was not okay. I would react really badly. I would cry, or I'd get really upset, or do something that I would completely regret in the morning. So I knew all of this, but I still didn't connect it in my mind with a drinking problem. I just thought the issue was me and my mental health, and I did not make the connection that I had an alcohol issue. Now, once I got a little older, I was 30 once I had my first child. I got postpartum depression pretty badly after he was born, and I drank to cope with that. That's when I really started to feel like it was an issue. It was no longer like, oh, I'm in my 20s and, I'm young, wild, and free, so this is fine. I started to feel like this doesn't feel okay anymore, and it wasn't me going out and partying, it was me at home drinking after my son would go to sleep. And it started to feel a lot darker, just in my inner self. It felt darker. It didn't feel okay what I was doing. That pattern continued once I had my second child, and that's when I really started to feel like I might have a problem here. It scared me so much. It felt awful. It was a terrible idea to face the idea that I might have a real drinking problem. I didn't know what to do with that. I certainly didn't think I was going to stop. So yeah, it felt like I had a problem, but I just didn't know what to do with that information. So that's when I started to sort of set limits on myself. I would take breaks. The issue was I would set a date, like I'm not going to drink until this amount of time. I'm going to take a few months off, or I'm going to take the summer off or whatever. And I would never keep those promises. I would always drink before that time. I'd always drink sooner than what I told myself I was going to do. So that felt problematic. I finally decided to get sober for real in January of 2020. I had an incident where I just got super, super drunk. Nothing horrible happened, but I just felt so disgusted with myself at that point. And I could finally wrap my head around the idea of actually quitting drinking completely. So I did. And I quit for 62 days or something like that. And lo and behold, the pandemic happened and it just got too hard. So I started drinking again. All the while I knew that I was going to stop again at some point. I was drinking again, but I felt like I had known too much. I'd gone too far, I'd seen too much, and I knew I had to stop. So I stopped for real November 2nd of 2020, and I have not had any alcohol for about 11 months, which feels amazing. The big difference this time is that I am not doing it alone. I go to recovery meetings. I have a community. I created a sober Instagram account and connected with a lot of people that way. Now, the big thing that I want to mention is that for so long like I said before, I didn't think that alcohol was the problem. I thought that I was the problem. I thought that I was just crazy, that I was broken, that I was messed up. I do come from some trauma in my past, and I have anxiety and depression, and I thought that I was the issue. I thought my mental health was the issue, and this is why things always went so badly for me once I started drinking. And I never really connected the idea that it was alcohol that was the problem. Alcohol was the common denominator in every single bad thing that happened in my life. And it took me so long to really make that connection. So once I cut alcohol out of my life this time, this 11 months, I've really started to realize that I'm not just this broken, messed up, crazy person like I always thought that I was. I was just using a really harmful substance to cope with some of my mental health issues, and it was making it so much worse. That was the problem, not me. I'm not broken, and I can heal. And I know that now. Now that I've removed alcohol from my life, I really feel like I'm on my way to creating a joyful life and to figuring out how I can move forward with my life and heal from some of the things that I was using alcohol to ignore. So that's just a little bit about my background and where I come from, and why I'm so passionate about spreading the word about sobriety and sharing my journey with others is because I lived with so much pain for so long. I used alcohol to cope for so long. I didn't see a future for myself that didn't involve drinking for the rest of my life. Alcohol was what I looked forward to about every special occasion. I didn't look forward to Christmas. I looked forward to drinking on Christmas. I didn't look forward to vacations. I looked forward to drinking on vacations. I didn't look forward to any holiday, any gathering. What I looked forward to about those things was consuming alcohol. And I can see now how problematic that was. I didn't see it, or I saw it, but I wanted to ignore it. I didn't think there was a future for me without alcohol, and I thought I was broken. And I'm not. And things are so much more joyful now and so much better on this side of sobriety. So that is what I wanted to share with all of you. Please like, subscribe, and share this with anyone you think could benefit from it. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.